a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Talk. Well, my guest today is making a second appearance, which is very nice. He is a singer, a songwriter, and a self-taught guitarist, Ranj Singh. Sorry, Ranj. Ranj Singh. There you go.
Ranjit is my full name, but everybody calls me Ranj. Hi, how are you, Ned?
I'm good, thank you. What's your full name?
Ranjit is my full name.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it's
Anyway.
ever since I was elementary school. It's always been shortened to Ranj.
Okay, very good. Yeah. So now I know that you were into folk music, or you were the last time I spoke to you.
Yes, always have been. Easy listening folk music is what I kind of write. Stories of your own life. Nobody can tell your story better than you. So that's always been my go-to. But the last few years, I finally went and started learning some cover songs.
Okay.
I had said to myself, I will never play cover songs. And I lived by that rule for a little over 30 years. And then I started learning some covers, and that opened a lot more doors for me. And turned into a full-time job now, where this is all I do. I play music.
Well, that's really nice, because not a lot of people get to live doing what they want, right? When it comes to performing music or arts in any form, right?
I'm really a happy puppy these days. It's just, this is all, like I said, I'm playing over a couple of hundred shows a year, and things have changed drastically the last couple of years since I quit working. And
that's very nice to hear. I'm glad. I'm really, really pleased. Where are some of the places that you would perform?
Lower Mainland, a lot of restaurants, a lot of lounges. Tawasin has a lot of great venues. Gracie's next door, Mario's Kitchen, Pat Quinn's. And then, where did I play? I played at the Western Bayshore last week, playing at the Vancouver Yacht Club. There's lots of little pubs and restaurants that are starting to host live music. A lot more popping up now too. A lot of breweries. There's some of my musician friends are playing 30 plus shows a month, and they're all 99% in breweries. So
yeah, there's one in Chilliwack that seems to get a lot of performers.
Yeah,
I haven't been there yet, but you never know. Yeah, for sure. So I know that you have a website, right? So people can go there to just check out and see what your music sounds like, right?
Yes. ranjsingh.com.
Okay.
And I just recently started working with this young lady who's been taking care of all my social media, because I'm horrible I still type with one finger. I'm pretty sure I'm still using a Commodore 64, as a matter of fact, but it's just too much for me. And she came on board, and it's just been unbelievable the last 6-7 weeks, all the pressure she took off of me.
That's nice. Yeah, it really makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does, especially the professionals. This is what they do, and what takes me 2 hours, they can do in 20 minutes, sort of a thing. So it's
that's right.
It's been really nice.
I had somebody that was doing my editing, and then they moved, and now I have somebody else do my editing, and it's like, he's actually a hip hop artist, which is really cool.
Oh, nice.
But he's really good at editing, and I'm like, yes, thank you. So I don't have. I tried learning it, but it just doesn't want to sink in. Anyway, I want to talk about that cover songs that you've learned. What kind of songs?
When I did decide to learn covers, I decided that I wanted to learn the covers that I grew up loving when I was listening to music. So there's stuff from the 60s and 70s and 80s, some classic rock covers. But what I do is I kind of change them a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of them I've slowed down quite a bit, and then add some of my Indian roots to them.
Mm-hmm.
Van Morrison song, Guns N' Roses, there's Elvis, there's Beatles. It's all across the board. But as my daughters remind me that I'm really, really old, the era that at my age, that's the people who listen to it, they go, they know every song. There's no B-side songs, hardly any, like anything like that. And I
Right.
mean, a lot of artists do a lot of covers, and I've never heard the artists that they're covering. I have a few songs like that, but I try to keep them mostly mainstream songs that everyone's familiar with, and then
Yeah.
add a little different flavor to it.
It's kind of interesting when you think about it, right? Like I grew up with that era too, where you're listening to the 60s music, mostly 60s. But a lot of the young people today really still love that music.
Well, it's just got a timestamp on it, which is forever.
Yeah.
I mean, those songs will live forever because they were so well crafted. The melodies are stuck in your head forever. The lyrics are powerful. It's just my favorite era of music was the 70s, and if not the 60s, it was the 70s. And I just, with Boston and CCR and everybody, I was just like, this is amazing. You know, that
Yeah.
and yeah, exactly. The younger generation, every time I'm playing, and there you can see them singing along to these. I don't know the newer songs that are out there now. I can't sing along to a lot of them, and I'm not sure what their longevity will be for some of the young artists that are out there now touring the world. You know, maybe amongst the younger generation they'll live, but I don't see that leap across all generations like what we have with the music we grew up with.
Right. And now, again, I've forgotten. Are you a solo performer?
Yes, I am. I was always in bands. In the 80s, I was in a band for 8-9 years. In the 90s, I was in a band for 8-9 years. And then when I started performing my own music, I actually formed a band as well too, and that was the goal, to keep it that way. But had a car accident, and that changed everything, and I ended up retiring my band in 2012,
Right.
which was the worst musical day of my career.
Oh,
Exceptional musicians, great friends,
right.
and a very unique sound, but I just went downhill fast after the accident because I thought that was my last kick at the can,
Mm.
never to play again. And a few years later, started playing a little bit here and there, and then I started, as I said, learning some covers, and then it just morphed into something different. Now it's a solo show for now, but all doors are always open, and we'll see what happens.
It's nice to know that you're in a good place now with your musical career, right?
Yeah, because there was some dark days, you know, when this is all you want to do, this is your lifelong passion.
Yeah.
And when I went spiraling downhill, I didn't want to take the rest of the guys with me, which is what I probably would have done.
Ah,
So, you know, to disband, it was tough, but it was, at the time, it was the right move.
right.
And I mean, I honestly, I really do miss playing with the guys, because it was you know, you get this chemistry going, and it's hard to replace that at times. So
That's right. Yeah. You mentioned your children. Are they musical?
yes, my youngest has an amazing voice, and my eldest is an amazing dancer. But it's nothing we never pushed them for anything like that to pursue whatever they wanted to do. Matter of fact, my youngest one, she used to when she was still in elementary school, was like, Dad, I want to take guitar. And I can't read and write music, so I told her, I will not be your teacher, but you know, when that time comes, we'll put you in music classes. And I stalled her for years because I knew something, wasn't really her cup of tea. But then she started, finally, when she got in 5-6 years of her asking them, when I said, okay, fine. She had started high school. We started in guitar. She spent the whole year taking lessons, and then put the guitar away after that. And she's never touched. It's hanging behind me here. She's never touched it again. So, but she still sings. But yeah, they all have their gifts, which very, very talented.
That's nice. Yeah. My kids yeah, they're very musical. I'm not, but they are, and I'm thinking,
Oh,
where did that come from?
yeah, yeah. And for us, it was growing up. It was my mom was our rock star. She had all the talent, and I got my talent from her.
Cool.
And my brothers were all 5 of us boys, all musically gifted as well too.
Wow.
So in the 90s, the band I was in, 4 of us 5 brothers were in that band together for a lot of years, touring all over North America and overseas. So yeah, it was a very like I said, growing up musically, I had a great career growing up,
Right.
especially in the '80s and '90s with these two bands. We toured everywhere and did a lot of great shows, a lot of great events.
Wow, cool. Yeah. Have you put out any CDs yourself?
Three. I have three albums. First one's called Simple Man. That was in 2007, and then 2012 we did Found a Way Home with my second band,
Hmm.
with my original band, and then the last album was a solo album called The Man Cold. I think that was 2016,
Right.
and just slowed down after that for writing, composing. Life, was busy with work and everything else.
Yeah.
And now with this time, I'm starting to be a little more creative again. So hopefully down the road, another album.
Okay, right. Yeah. So when you're doing your own writing your own music, like what's that process for you? How does that process work?
Um, it's always different. Some songs, when my grandfather passed away, and my brother made a slideshow that we were going to show at the funeral, 3.5 minute slideshow. Watching that, I ended up writing a song within 15 minutes. It was just that inspiration. And then some songs take forever. Sometimes it's the pen that goes down first. Sometimes it's the music that goes down first. It's never. I don't really have a structure to writing. It's just like I mentioned earlier. Nobody can tell your story better than you.
Yeah.
So if you have a story to share, be it good or bad, whatever it is, whatever the emotion is, and if you can put that to music and then put a melody behind it, the song is there. It's
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just going to check my phone. I want to see what date this is going to be airing because I want to ask you if you have any performances coming up, but I don't want, I want to make sure that this airs after that.
Okay.
So should be airing on the 22nd, Friday the 22nd.
March 22nd.
Yes. So do you have any performances coming up after that?
After that, yes, that night, 22nd, I'm at Newlands Golf and Country. On the 23rd, I'm at Pat Quinn's. The 24th, I'm at the Sylvia Hotel, Vancouver. Gracie's next door on the 29th. Lombardo's Pizza on the 30th. Yeah, that's it for that.
Oh, that's
Yep.
really good. Yeah. I'll get you to message that to me with the dates
Sure.
and time properly, and then I can make sure that they're included, right?
Okay.
So
Awesome.
people can actually read it and in case they miss part of this conversation. You just never know for sure. But it really is good. Like I found that there was a change like from before COVID and after COVID. During COVID, it was just a strange time. A lot of people kind of lost their career after that,
Yep.
and
Oh, yeah.
now some people are coming back to it, which is really good
Yeah.
because we need music in our lives, right?
Yeah, and a lot of venues closed down during that time too,
Yes.
and it was a tough go for especially for the entertainment industry. I believe. I mean, all my friends who are into movies and production and whatnot and stunt work, they were jobless for the longest time,
Hmm.
and some musician friends who were lifelong musicians. One lovely lady, she's been playing for over 40 years, and halfway through that whole, I hate to call it whatever it is, but halfway through that, she goes, "What do I put on my resume? I need to find work. And
Yeah.
what am I going to do? How this is all I've ever done all my life." And I was fortunate. I was still working nights as a courier, and the job was essential, so I continued working throughout that 2 years. But man, oh man, some nights driving when everything was shut down, the borders and everything was shut down, the city was shut down.
Mhm.
It was scary, and
It was pretty strange.
it was very eerie. I remember stopping downtown at 2 in the morning. My shift took me through downtown at that time, and there was not a car in sight. And I got out and I parked the car and I just stood on the corner of, I think it was Georgia and Richards area, and you could hear the wind howling and you could see all the newspapers flying, like the garbage flying. And I
Yeah.
was like, am I in a movie right now, like a scary movie scene?
Yeah, that's right.
It was different. So I'm glad those days are behind us for sure.
Yeah, where my son lives in China, and where fortunately for them, where they live, like everything was closed up, but where they live, they were allowed to shop in the immediate, like almost like a courtyard
Right.
with a little store and everything, but they were not allowed to leave those grounds at all,
Well,
you know. So at least
yeah.
we had the freedom of going out, even if we had to wear a mask,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was horrible. There was times where, and then not being able to play music. I was doing. I learned more about this whole Zooms, like every other artist did at
Me
that
too.
time. Yeah. Prior to that, I wouldn't have touched it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I built on my studio a little bit. I did some stuff that it was some good came out of it, but
Mm.
overall, it was a horrible experience for a lot of folks. We
Yeah,
had family members who went through major depression, were hospitalized, and seniors who were on their own. So it was, yeah,
for sure. Yeah. My brother was one of those people. He's in his 80s, and he's I forget what happened, but he was in a hospital and nobody was allowed to go see him. And all he could do is look in the window, right, at the hospital,
yeah,
wait to him
yeah,
from the window. It's kind of interesting because I thought this was the time when we needed music more than ever, was during COVID,
yeah,
and and I was hoping that the government would figure out some way that performances could still be out there, performers could still be out there in a safe way,
yeah. No,
right?
I was. I remember playing some seniors' homes during that time. I mean, you were not allowed to go inside or anything,
Mm,
so I just set up in the parking lot, and a lot of these folks had balconies, and it wasn't a paid gig or anything. It was
yeah,
just their eyes. I mean, their face, the smiles, and they lit up because they had nobody coming and going at that time.
yeah.
And I'm like, why aren't we doing more of these kind of things instead of I remember Costco. The lineup at our local Costco was, you remember the huge lineups outside waiting to go in.
Right.
And everybody is standing there miserable and just waiting an hour to get into the store, hour and a half if not. I said, why can't we just have a musician at the
Yes.
just playing outside distance? Don't come near him or whatever. Don't be throwing money at it. It's not that kind of a thing. It's a big corporation. I reached out to a lot of places like that. Never got anything back, let alone our government. They're just more eager to shut everything down instead of trying to keep things alive.
I think they just didn't know what to do.
No, it was a whole bunch of stuff. It was just a lot of politics, obviously,
Oh,
but
well, yeah,
uh,
that is who
it,
they are.
it was the most frustrating thing for me was my mom passed away during that time.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that.
So I think she was healthy. Everything was fine. And then she got diagnosed. She had stomach pain, and then they found out it was cancer. And within 2-3 weeks, she passed away.
My
It
goodness.
didn't. The only thing was she didn't suffer, but
Yeah.
we were not allowed to go see her as family in the hospital. So there was one person allowed a day to visit her,
Yeah.
and so I stepped back. I had two younger brothers and my dad, and I said, "You guys go," and I had a few more years with mom. I'll go on this day, and the day I was supposed to go, she passed away before I got there,
Wow.
and I was devastated and hurt and so angry because after she passed away, we were allowed to go see her in the same room. 3, 4 of us were allowed to go at the same time. I'm like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
What was so wrong with us going at that? This is the same room, the same people are sharing the room. It's now you let us in. It just didn't make any sense. So yeah, it was a challenging
It was
time for
John.
sure.
Yeah. My younger brother passed just as COVID was coming in. He was living in North Carolina, and
Sorry.
we were there visiting him. We knew he was going to. Not, we didn't know how long he had, but anyway, when my sister got a notice, she doesn't know who it came from. They said, "Get home, get back to Canada because they're going
Yeah,
to be closing the airlines down."
yeah.
And we didn't want to leave, but my brother passed that morning that
Oh,
we decided we have to go. So he had passed, and we just said he knew.
yeah,
He did that
yeah,
for us,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's just such a tragic time. Oh my goodness, I don't know why we got into this conversation.
Well,
But it's
emotions. When you share these feelings, these
yeah,
thoughts, it's important.
absolutely, yeah. Anyway, so we're running out of, I think we're probably running out of time, but so I just want to remind the audience that you've listened to Ranj Singh, and I'm going to get all his information. So, are you in Surrey?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Okay. But then he's going to post the events that he goes to. And I encourage you, if you've never been out to live music performance, go. It is so, I don't know how to explain it. You know, you can listen to it online or on the radio or see it on TV, but being there live, there's something about that beautiful energy that
Yeah.
that it just gets into you. So, yeah, hope you do that, everybody, and hope you share this video so that other people can find out about Ranj and his music. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much for watching this show, and peace out.
Thank you.
It's small talk. It's small talk. It's small talk. It's small talk. Watching small talk. Nancy Guitar. And the ball drop. Nancy Guitar. Introduced and all stop. Nancy Guitar. Giving you what you want on small talk. Nancy Guitar. She does them all the greatest service. What's that? You wouldn't even know they're nervous. No shame. She pumps them all the right way. She's like a bee. And gets them through it all the way. Nancy Guitar. On small talk. Nancy Guitar. With small talk.